I'm afraid this is going to be a long one. Hi, thank you so much for all your answers and questions on my last video. It was really interesting to learn more about you and how diverse your origins and ages are. I also asked you to guess my age. 15 people answered. 12 of them estimated that I'm in my 30s and 3 of them in my 40s. About half of the answers were between 35 and 38. I must admit that the younger your estimation was, the more delighted I was. But actually, I'm 50. Clearly, you guys know me better because in real life, when people meet me first time, then they often mistake me as a 20-something or even sometimes as a teenager, despite my gray hair. In such cases, I'm thinking, oh, my skincare works. I was somehow reluctant to talk about my age here because I know the usual reaction of people and I didn't want it to be focus of my channel. But more and more I encountered some limitations when I want to share my experiences about beauty or skincare. I also never mentioned my family. I'm married and I have 3 children. They are all girls in age 18, 16, and 9. So you can imagine that sometimes people get confused if I'm their sister. I also have 2 cats, as I showed one time in one of my MT's videos. They actually have their own channel. It's called Luna and Mia Cats. My youngest child is occasionally featured there, and also the second one a few times. There I upload rather short videos every week, so you can check it out. Then about my channel name. When I was thinking about starting a channel back in 2016, I wanted to call my channel name of a color because I love colors. Pink is my favorite color and I love to dance ballet. Ballet is often related to pale pink color of clothing and shoes, which is sometimes referred as ballet pink. So I thought that would be a perfect name for my channel. As some of you already know, I'm from Korea and I live in Austria. So somebody asked, where in Austria do you live? I live somewhere in the countryside of state Styria. How long have you lived there? I'm living here for 18 years. And there was also a question about why did you move from Korea to Europe, or what took you there? I studied physics in Korea, undergrad and master. Then I moved to England for further study, where I've done another master. There I met my husband, who is German. Then we went together to Germany to do our PhDs. We got then married, and I got pregnant at the end of my PhD. I could just finish it before I gave birth. Then my husband found a job here in Austria, so we moved to here with a small baby. And since then I'm a housewife. How many languages do you speak? So I speak Korean, English, and German. 3 languages. Also, few people were wondering if I'm a ballet dancer. I'm just dancing as a hobby. I wanted to become a dancer as a child, but my parents didn't allow me, also they couldn't afford it. So I just took dance classes here and there. And when I went to England, I became a member of the university ballet club. And one time we joined a project together with some students of a local ballet school. There I saw people doing point work. I was quite surprised because I thought point work is only for professionals. Later in Germany, I started visiting ballet school regularly. And when I was 30 years old, I started point work, which I'm still doing. So next question is, what are your favorite hobbies? If you have seen my Instagram bio, it starts like, got too many hobbies. Then I listed some of my hobbies there. When I read that, I'm dancing, ballet and hip hop, and I also do singing, classic and pop, and I play some instruments. They are piano, violin, and percussion instruments. And among percussion instruments, there are a lot of them. That's why I wrote there. I can't list them all here. There are drums, also timpanis, and mallets. And if you have seen my percussion camp vlog, then you probably saw it. There are really many kinds of drums. So the things I'm doing in regular base are visiting ballet class, and I'm also taking music lessons twice a week. One is pop singing, and the other one is percussion instruments. And I'm also singing in a choir and playing violin in an orchestra. I also play percussion instruments in a brass band, and I'm a lead singer in a band. So altogether it's 7 things which I'm doing in a week. So basically doing in 5 days. So it's quite a lot. I'm even planning to visit hip hop classes after the summer. So let me see how it will go. What does beauty mean to you? As I said in my very first video, beauty is for me a form of art. It's about expressing myself and also practicing mindfulness, self-care, and that just gives me confidence. When did you get very interested in skincare? I think it was somewhere in my mid-20s, something like 25. I was doing skincare always, but around that time I started to search for better products because I was just using very basic products. So at that time I started to use Clinique. And about 26 or almost 27, I first got wrinkles around my eyes, which I mentioned in my eye cream video. So I found one good eye cream and I was able to get rid of my wrinkles again. And then it's coming to the next question. When did you first try Clarins? I was 29. At that time, I was preparing my wedding, and I was always thinking Clinique is a little bit too harsh for me. So I was researching which brand would be best for me, and that time I found Clarins. So basically I'm using Clarins now more than 20 years. What is the one Clarins skincare product you love the most? I think I already asked it a few times. I always recommend Bi-Face serum to people who want to try Clarins first time, because it's really powerful product, although it's quite lightweight. I can't live without that serum. I mentioned in my Clarins video that one time I just went to holiday without it and immediately got some fine lines on my cheeks. So I always carry it around. Are any high-end skincare brands or products that you want to try? When I was preparing wedding, the time when I found Clarins, there was another brand which came into sight, that was La Prairie. But that was extremely expensive. At that time I tried some samples from both Clarins and La Prairie. And La Prairie products were really impressive. But I thought, I can't give so much money for skincare. And Clarins was actually also expensive, but compared to La Prairie, I was okay. And Clarins was as good as La Prairie. So I was thinking, maybe someday, if I have too much money, then I will start to use La Prairie. But didn't happen till now. Do you try or use any Japanese or Korean skincare products? As I don't live in Korea, I don't really have chance to try Korean products, although I know Korean beauty is very popular around the world. So only thing I tried was some facial mask, because one of my friends sent me, but otherwise I haven't tried. Do you have eating recommendations to have a glowing skin like yours? First, thank you. I'm not sure if it's directly correlated to my skin, but I actually eat clean, which means I don't eat processed food, refined sugar, refined grains. I also don't eat dairy, and I don't drink alcohol. Any skincare tips that has helped you maintain such amazing skin? Again, thank you. I guess it's from good care with right products, and also, as I said just before, healthy eating and also healthy lifestyle, I guess. What is your most favorite dish to eat in the whole entire world? I must say that's my breakfast. I really love my breakfast. I also enjoy the time that I just have quiet breakfast, sometimes watching some favorite YouTube videos. My breakfast is looks like oatmeal, but it's without oats. I just mix a bunch of stuff which I really love and just enjoy it every morning. Is there any dish that you enjoy cooking a lot? I don't really enjoy cooking or baking, but as I said before, I don't eat any processed food, so I have to cook everything. I also bake a lot. I even make ice cream myself. But when I select one dish, I cook salmon quite often because I love to eat salmon. Do you like spicy food? No, I can't eat spicy food. I had a hard time when I was in Korea. Do you prefer tea or coffee? I don't drink coffee, so tea. Who is your favorite band or singer? BTS. What did you do to pass time during all the COVID lockdowns? Because my kids had homeschooling, so I had to take care of my kids. And I also couldn't go to music school or ballet school and so on. So I actually had more time to work on my YouTube videos. Do you prefer hot weather or cooler, cold weather? If I have to select one, that would be hot weather, because I can't stand cold. And in winter, you have to wear lots of layers, which is quite bothering. So I prefer summer. Which country would you like to visit? I would love to visit Australia one day. Do you have any plans to travel this summer? I'm going to visit my mom in Korea. Maybe I can vlog while I'm traveling or try some Korean beauty products. I will see. So that was it. I guess you might have got even more questions after this Q&A. Just feel free to ask in the comments. I'll try to answer as much as I can. Thanks a lot for watching. I will see you in my next video then. Bye!